All right, guys, here's my first video for the actual Module 6 assessment problems. These are the same problems that you have been looking at that I assigned for you to work on that are due on Friday, May 22nd. So you can see that what you're looking at are your identical problems here. I kind of want to talk about each problem and give you some thoughts and some tips on these problems that I think might aid you in kind of helping you kind of create the answer that you want to have for these problems. So on number 1, it says the Kentucky Derby is a horse race held each year. The following scatter plot shows the speed of the winning horse at the Kentucky Derby each year between 1875 and 2012. And then you see all these scatter plot dots right here, right? All the red ones. So what this means, like if you go along the x-axis to any year, every dot up here represents a year. Like here's the year 1920, and if you were actually on a piece of graph paper and you could see that line when you went up there, that line would hit a dot, and you can kind of see then when you go over here to the y-axis what the speed would be. Okay, so that's kind of what those dots are representing, the winning speed for each of the years that the Kentucky Derby was held. So question A says, is the association between speed and year positive or negative? So now remember, when you're looking at this scatter plot, you kind of want to look at it from the left side of the graph, the scatter plot, over to the right side, right? And then based on the pattern that you see happening with these dots, right, you should be able to answer the question on whether it's positive or negative. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. Now it says, give a possible explanation in the context of this problem for why the association behaves this way considering the variables involved. All right, so after you decide whether you think it's positive or negative, then you should write like a little sentence saying that you think it's positive because, or you think it's negative because, and you're going to want to include some kind of language about the years and the speed of the horses, right? So back here, like in this dot here, that's somewhere between 1880 and 1900, and that speed, right? You can see if you went over here, it'd be less than the 47.5. So it kind of seems like when you look at this, as the years are progressing, right, these dots, the speeds of the horses seem like they're getting a little bit faster, right? So you're going to want to incorporate that into your answer, something like that, okay? Now, when you go down to part B, it says comment on whether the association between speed and year is approximately linear, and then explain in the context of this problem why the form of the association, linear or not, makes sense considering the variables involved. Now look, you only got two choices. You're either going to say it's a linear, right, association, or non-linear. And it doesn't mean linear is good and non-linear is bad, right? It's just that when you're looking at the dots here, you got to decide, does it look like it's a linear pattern? So you got to remember what the word linear means, or does it look like it's a non-linear pattern, right? And that's how you're going to answer this question on part B. All right, now going down to C, when it says circle an outlier in the scatter plot and explain in the context of the scatter plot how and why the observation is unusual. All right, well, I referenced that earlier. The outlier is this point right here, because this point is the point that's kind of just by itself and not, close together with all these other points. So you're going to want to circle that and comment on it for me and explain why it says in the context. So the context is years of the Kentucky Derby and speed of the horses, and why that outlier, seems maybe, unique or unusual, it says, in that particular situation. All right, hope that helps you with problem 1. Talk to you later.